I've been trading since 2017. I've tried a bunch of different strategies. Like I started with penny stock breakouts. I did supply and demand for a little bit, ICT, and right now I'm only using three concepts that have made me profitable. The most profitable I've been for a very long time. I learned it from someone who's been consistently profitable for years. So, I have faith in it. I know it works. Because not only is it working for him, but, it's working for me. And I'm going to show you examples like this trade that he took this morning. He gave a signal on it. The three concepts are liquidity, imbalance, and time of day. So I'm going to break that down for you if you have no idea what those words mean, if it sounds like freaking Chinese to you. Hopefully you're not Chinese. I'm not racist, I swear. Um, Liquidity is basically it's just like a very hot term right now in trading. So liquidity is essentially old highs and old lows, like the most basic way to explain it. Um, I'm not a freaking ICT SMT expert or anything, but that's pretty much what it is. So when you have equal low highs, when you have equal lows and equal highs, that makes it like a very good place for liquidity to be resting. Meaning, there's a bunch of orders that are sitting there. People are putting their stops there. So, for example, here with these all these lows we have here, there's probably a lot of people that went long and they put their stop there. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to necessarily come down and sweep the liquidity right away just because there's a low. Uh, but that's essentially the idea. So, like today, this is NASDAQ. You can see we have these equal highs here. We kind of have equal highs here. So, that can be used as like the draw on liquidity, meaning that there's the market is going to try to push it there to take out the orders. That's pretty much it. um, so you can use it in a combination. You can use it as a liquidity sweep and also as a draw on liquidity. So the trade from Big Gains Club this morning, which again, if I open my prop firm, you can see he entered here, took profit, took profit, took profit. He actually left the runner. I I thought he said to move the stop, which he did, but then later he waited for a candle close, and he sold somewhere here. But you can see it's a pretty big runner right now. Um, so you can see we basically swept these lows, so that could count as a liquidity sweep. On top of the fact that we have relative high equal highs here, relative equal highs here, so that could be used as the draw on liquidity. It's kind of like a magnet uh, where price is going to want to push. So once we swept old lows and we have like relative equal highs above, you combine both those things and it kind of makes for a good trade. Um, Imbalance is basically fair value gaps. So this has become very popular thanks to ICT. A fair value gap is basically you can see down here three candles, one, two, three, and there's no overlap in the middle candle. So no wicks are touching. This is a fair value gap. So like this right here, this isn't a fair value gap because you can see one, two, three. The wicks are overlapping, like they're touching, and that's basically an imbalance. Again, I'm not a SMT expert. I'm not going to tell you like an imbalance means that price did not efficiently move away from that direction and there's orders waiting. Like, who knows if that's true or not? For me, it's just about what concepts work, what concepts I can see work consistently, and that I can execute on. And that's all that matters to me. Okay, I don't care about some freaking secret algorithm in the markets. So, uh, a lot of times, imbalances is what Antonio from Big Gains Club uses, uh, which he's who I learned from. So here you can see we had a strong push down, strong push back up. You can use it in a variety of ways. So here, it's an inverse fair value gap where you have two fair value gaps overlapping each other. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's like, do we even have one? I mean, there's a tiny one here. This is a fair value gap plus this fair value gap, and it's overlapping. And then one here, fair value gap. This is a big fair value gap, and they overlap. So those are inverse fair value gaps. Antonio entered here, and again, took profit, took profit, took profit. So again, swept liquidity. We had drawn liquidity to these old highs, relatively equal old highs there, and combine that with the inverse fair value gap. And then the other way he uses fair value gaps is if, let's say, it didn't happen today, but let's say price came down, swept liquidity, and we also had a fair value gap here. So that would be another way to use that, which is very clean. That's how I use it also. Yeah. So that's liquidity, imbalances, and then time of day. Time of day, you probably guessed what that means. It's very simple. It's just Antonio says there's specific times in the markets where a reversal is more likely to happen, or where trades are more likely to play out. So the reversal macros he taught me and he teaches are specifically 9:45 to 10:15, and then 12:45 to 1:15. So it's basically 30 minutes. And the way I do it is because just from what I've seen and like backtesting, I'm not a huge believer in like macros, which is what I think ICT started calling it that. But yeah, I'm not like a huge believer that you have to trade only at specific times because that's only when moves happen. Um, because like today, for example, I missed this trade because this was my setup, but it happened at 12 instead of 12:30. Um, which brings me to my next point. Because of because of that belief that I think it's not always accurate. It's not, markets are markets. They're not perfect. So I give myself from 9:30 to 10:30 and then 12:30 to 1:30. So sometimes Antonio trades outside those times. But typically it's within that time, and I think I hear my puppy doing something. Hang on. Yeah, no big deal. Just one of the tricks I'm teaching them. So today Antonio entered at 10:27, so that's within that time of day. Basically, it's very close to the end of it. But yeah, you combine those three things: liquidity, imbalance, time of day, and I mean, it works for him consistently. He proves it live in the Discord. I've been in there since April, so almost like 4 months now because it's August. I guess another example would be this trade that I wanted to take at 12. Let's say this was 12:30, so that would be time of day. This is a liquidity sweep because we swept this liquidity right here. You could say we have relative equal highs here to sweep, but also if you go to a higher time frame, you can see we have these highs here, which are pretty close to these highs, 19,700, which it hasn't touched 19,700 yet at this point. So that's liquidity. The imbalance would be that we formed an inverse fair value gap right here, which is something I like to look for before entering. It's less clean on NASDAQ actually, but there is a 15-minute fair value gap here. I don't really like that, but there is also a new week opening gap right here that we bounced off. But if I show you ES, which I use as like I trade both of them together, you can see at 11:45 it dipped down perfectly into the 15-minute fair value gap and rejected. So that's how I would have used liquidity for that trade. And then time of day, it wasn't the time of day, so I didn't take it. But if it was 12:30, that would have been a very nice trade. It's been working for me. I mean, I can show you I got a Top Step funded account, which the passing a funded account, in my opinion, isn't super impressive. I know to some people it is, but uh, I mean, It was at 1,300. I made some freaking mistakes. I wasn't sticking to the plan, so I'm a 750 away from blowing it. I don't think I will, but I'll continue to post about it if you want to see if I do or not. But it's just, I don't know, I guess proof that it's working for me. Again, I haven't I haven't really seen good consistent results for a while. And after joining Big Gains Club, this isn't a freaking advertisement, but I'm just documenting, right? So after joining Big Gains Club, it took me I can show you the my trading log. I think it was 1.5 months where after joining, I turned green. So you can see I started taking trades from May 13th to June 3rd. That's the time period it took me to turn green. So I took a bunch of losses, turned green. I've been green ever since then. And like I said before, I haven't been doing that well with my trading, just because I've been breaking rules. I've been doing emotional trading. Uh, so for that reason, I didn't trade today because I'm like re-locking in, refocusing because I'm freaking done making all these dumb mistakes. Uh, I lost like $1,000 last week just because I wasn't trading good, was breaking rules. Um, but I can go through and show like a lot of good examples of good trades, and it's clearly different the winners from the losers. Like the winners, I have these confluences I'm talking about: liquidity, time of day, imbalance. For the losers, yes, some I'll take losses, of course, even if I think it's a good trade. But a lot of the losses I've been taking, I just like force trades. I overanalyze. I get emotional, or I take a good trade, and I get emotional in the trade. So I like get greedy. I double down too early, and I get stopped out. Whatever. Again, this has been working for me. I'm profitable with it for the past 2.5 months, which isn't crazy, but this is the most results I've seen in a long time. It's profitable from Big Gains Club. I mean, from his signals. Antonio's been profitable for years. So uh, there's not really any doubt in my mind that I can't make this work for me consistently uh, once I get rid of all those small errors. So if you're interested in learning yourself, if you want to join Big Gains Club, I'll put the link below with a discount. Uh, that's as much as I'm going to say about that. I don't really like shoving stuff in people's faces, but I mean, I do recommend them. I just, understand there's a lot of people that don't like discords and trading education. Big Gains Club is more than just signals. Again, I'm profitable from my own personal trading. Uh, I did also pass two prop firms using their signals. So if that's something you're into, then again, links in the description. And for those of you who made it to the end, thank you.